soon. And we are live. Hello and welcome to THEE100s Hangout number 4. Cast of characters. I'm Peter Palmiotti, and this is not my own create-own project. This is just something I'm going to be working on. This is Barry McLean pencils for samples for Marvel for their book Midnight Suns. If you want my story, I'll probably be doing a blog soon. Just sort of lost a month and got to catch up on a bunch of things. So I figured I'd work on this. Meanwhile, we may or may not have another person or two join us. But going from my left, let's introduce everybody who is here. We have Carrie. Hey, Carrie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yep.
Hey, Carrie, what's up?
Oh, not much. This is my first chat, so if I make any mistakes, let me know.
No mistakes are possible.
It's all casual here. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on?
Well, I just started the 100-day challenge as a kind of a way, as a way to try to force myself to keep going on something. But I've actually been out of art for a little while, and I've gotten back to it in the past couple of years. So I'm a little intimidated by all of you because you're much better than me.
Oh, stop.
No, none of that.
No worries, no worries. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to have
art.
Yeah, welcome back to art.
Yeah, totally. It's jumping in trial by fire.
Yeah.
It's like rock and roll. You can always return.
Yep.
You said that. I think Bob Seger said that.
Then we have Gaz. Hey, Gaz.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your old buddy Gazbot.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I don't know what that means.
And what's your project, son?
Well, Father, as you know, I'm working on the Horror A4, which is my own personal project, although I realize I'm not screen sharing yet, so I'll remedy that in a moment. I did all my client work during the day so that I could work on my own stuff for the Hangout.
That's awesome. I tried that.
Well, cool. Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes. And we have Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cross, and I am not working on my comic that I work on, my personal stuff right now, because I did not finish my client work for the day, and I'm hoping to finish this while we're doing the Hangout and get to more. I actually did my 30 minutes already, though, a little bit. So by a little bit, that sounds weird. I did 30 minutes, but I want to do more. But yeah, so I do the Monkey Mod Friend Show comic, which is my own thing, not this comic that you see on the screen. And you can see some of that stuff over at monkeymod.com. And yeah, that's me.
Well, welcome, Kevin.
Well, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And we have Scott.
Hey,
he says, Circ work.
It's plural. Circ works.
Works.
No. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Scott with Circ Works, and I am working on my personal project, but you can't see it because one, I'm not screen sharing yet, and two, once I do, I use a real light blue pencil, so you might not be able to see it until I get further along. So, oh yeah, and my comic is it's called Young and the Dead, and it is like a cross between Goonies and Night of the Living Dead, and it's kids versus zombies, and that's all you need to know about me.
Is this sort of a throwback to the kind of 80s era of kids?
Oh, you want me to give you the long version?
Yeah, it's like Night of the Living Dead meets Goonies. That's what my take is on it anyway.
It's exactly that.
Yeah. So let me know if I'm speaking out of school.
And do we have Pharaoh?
see him on the little roster down at the bottom there.
Maybe he stepped away for a moment.
Earl, don't be shy, buddy.
I see SpongeBob. Oh, he dropped out again. I don't know. He must be having trouble getting in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so he'll join us when he can.
What?
Which is cool.
I am on delay again.
What was that?
That might be me. Q is listening in, but once again, she's on a delay, so she's going to stuff we said.
Oh man, this is the funnest game.
I don't know why there's. I don't understand how I could be live and she can't when we're on the same exact internet connection. There's probably an actual reason for that. I just don't understand.
Well, there's a delay on YouTube. If she's watching on YouTube and you're actually in the actual.
Oh, I see.
I think that's how it works. Is that right,
Yeah,
Peter?
there's like a 5-second delay or something.
Mm. Well, she is watching on YouTube for sure.
She's all laugh track for tonight.
Yeah, our out of sync laugh track.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Like, start talking about something real heavy, like someone died or something.
Yeah, it would be embarrassing.
Eh.
So Pharaoh's trying to make it in. Yeah, we'll speak with him as soon as he gets set up.
Him?
Yeah,
Who
Pharaoh's a man.
Oh, Pharaoh. I thought you said Sephara.
Oh, who's Sephara?
Well, I guess she's not one of the 100s, but
She's not. She's not. Yeah,
She's
she's
just
an
like
Arcasted.
Oh, okay. I was like, she cuts my hair. I thought she was coming.
I was thinking we should do like a Arcasters versus THEE100s Hangout.
Isn't it like half the same people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there would be no verses because we have to, I don't know, affect voices or something. Screw you, hundreds. That's right. Be just fighting with myself or something. I don't know.
And you put on like a goatee in between each take.
Yeah, mustache.
So let's talk some comics and art. Who is? Yeah, well, otherwise it's going to go off into unknown areas of wackiness.
Well, we gotta make.
Who has had some artistic or business challenges this past week that they want to bring up?
Oh boy.
Not Kevin.
That's the same old. So. I just want to work on my comic, man. I don't want to work on anybody else's stuff. It's the same old.
I think we could all agree to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had the usual where, the project, we're going to need it right away. Okay, I can do that, but I'm going to need your feedback, so you got to be on standby to give me your feedback. No feedback. So,
like, hey, Mr. Works over there. Just kidding.
So, I mean, I kind of just I busted my ass for nothing, basically, because I told him, I'm trying to not do so much right now until the convention's over, but it didn't work out like that. But, oh, well.
Is this the same client/project you were talking about a little while ago on YouTube?
It's the comic book, the other comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it's not your uncle?
Well, actually, it's my girlfriend's uncle, but he's not the one. And I've kind of had this problem, like anytime you work with somebody with some celebrity, they're usually difficult to get a hold with. So I even made it a point, because I told him, I said, I'm going to, if we're going to do this and you want it on a certain timeline, you're going to have to get back to me, just because I know, like I said, every time I work with celebrities, they just don't get back to you in time. So, right. And it's not like a huge celebrity, but, But anyway, so yeah, okay, and he hasn't got back to me, so
Well, I mean, I understand that problem, but are you in a position, like I had said before, but you weren't in a position to do it, where you could say, look, because you're not getting back to me, the deadline is now pushed back, or you pay extra?
Yeah, no, it's not a situation like that, because the deal was that, because I told him there's going to be a lot of changes to the book, and of course this is after it's actually been printed and everything. Mm-hmm. which fine because I'm getting paid on it, so that's I don't have really a problem with that.
Right.
But so I said, I kind of asked what the deadline was, and I said, so it sounds like I can start this after May because May is pretty busy with getting stuff ready for the convention and everything. They said, yeah, that's cool, we can do that. And then so I get a call saying, we just need one thing, we just need the cover redone because we're going to do, he's going to do some school appearances, and they want just the cover because they want to do a poster of it that they can hand out. But they're supposed to need it finished today, or finished Wednesday, so they could print it today, so they could have it Friday to do a school appearance, and finished it Wednesday like I was supposed to, and haven't heard anything. And I talked to my girlfriend's uncle and everything. It's his company, our organization, I guess. And I guess it's that they're not doing the school visit yet, so it's not like a big deal, I guess. But it's just I guess I didn't have to work on it.
Yeah.
I could have pushed it off, but oh well.
Well,
That's such a common story, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say at least you got it over with, but I think that's probably gonna start saying what you were about to say. Yeah, so go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. I talk too much.
So do I.
Peter, you complain.
Yeah.
Oh, those bastards.
Yeah. I mean,
Good job.
The common stuff where like they want something, and then you don't hear anything, and and it turns out like you could have been doing your own stuff, or they're so wishy-washy that you kind of waste your time, like waiting around for them, and nothing happens, and I don't know.
Or even you could have spent more time and made it better. So a lot of times they're hurting themselves too.
Yeah. When are these clients ever going to learn, man?
Yeah.
Well, it's always weird to me because it's often people in like the traditional business world, and they must have their own deadlines and stuff, and yet they don't seem to follow the same rules with artists that they follow with other people they work with. We're always last priority.
Yeah. One of my favorites is kind of along these lines, but it's when they're like, hey Scott, we need this thing by Wednesday. And then you turn it in, and you get the automated email.
Yes. We're out of town.
The office until December of 2017.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I say and Scott, you're not in a position to do this, and also as I've gotten older and gotten more clients and stuff, I've gotten a little bit more. I don't want to use the word ruthless, vindictive maybe about it.
We're go out for revenge.
Vindictive is not as bad as ruthless, but
yeah. Well, because I don't have a problem with anybody until they cause me a problem, and then I will play within the rules that are established. But if there's any opportunity for me to exploit a contract or ask for more money, like if they do something stupid like that, where I bust my butt to get it done over a weekend, and then they don't get back to me, and then when they finally get back to me 3 days later, they're like, okay, I literally will be like, all right, you realize I now have 3 more days on the deadline, right? And they're like, no, and I'm like, you didn't get back to me for 3 days, 3 more days. Well, we need it. Well, then you have to pay extra. And they don't like that, but I just get sick of taking crap from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of it is, everything else seems to move a lot smoother. Like, it seems like things can get printed quicker, and, all these other things can go quicker, but it still takes about the same amount of time to draw and create things, and I don't know. I guess people just aren't expecting that it takes some time to do that, and they're not willing to wait for it.
Yeah, my contracts have gotten, it's still mostly just stuff I wrote. It's not like a lawyer went over it, but in, layman's terms, they've got more and more explicit, like outlining every detail, and here's what revisions you get, and if it's late, that's your fault. If you don't get, just because I've had so many situations where it was like a he said, she said kind of thing. And so, I think I may have mentioned this before or not. I was called a mercenary at some point, and I took it as like a compliment. Like you're such a mercenary. I'm like, yeah, I am a hired gun. Only it's
Boba Fett? Yes.
But seriously, like I think the woman meant to like insult me, but I'm like, that is not an insult. Like, yeah, I am a professional that you are hiring to do a job that I'm not invested in. Yes, I'm a mercenary. So read the contract, follow the terms, or else I'm going to bang you for it.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to break it on my side. It's always them. Roar!
Yeah. I mean, there's over the past couple years, I've had some things where their end of the bargain, their end of the contract has been broken, and like, look, the contract's broken now, so here's how we can remedy this. I get more money.
Yeah.
And or the contract is done. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Or you just bail on it.
Okay, and they scoff and they don't want to do it, but always do it.
Yeah. But and like like you said before, Kevin, I've been in a position, not right now, but I've certainly been in that position where I kind of hope they break the contract, just because I wanted. At that point, I would just want to be done with the job. But I'm a professional enough where I'm not going to quit. But if they mess it up, then I would take that opportunity to be like, oh well, we're done.
Yeah, and I've only had to I think in my whole 15 years of doing this stuff, I guess this is actually the 16th year. Probably by summer, I think. But anyway,
You can have a big party.
What's that?
You gonna have a big party?
Yeah. Well, it'll be my quitting party.
Sweet 16.
Yeah. Have Molly Ringwald come.
Sweet 16 and been a lot more than kissed by clients, but and forcibly. But no. Where's it going with this?
In 16 years, you've only.
Oh, I've only fired 2 clients.
Ah.
So. It's not.
Yeah, I talked a big game, but I don't think I've ever actually had to bail on a contract. I've renegotiated or scaled back or whatever, but I've always been able to end it amicably.
Yeah.
Although I did just recently, I've kind of started to get a better sense of when to not to walk away, but when to not get in the car with the person, so to speak.
Yeah, when to hold them.
Yeah, when to hold them. I had because I do caricatures, which is not one of my favorite things, but it's like a consistent revenue stream. And I was talking to some lady, and it was a thing where she had this project, this is just recently, where it was like 4 months from now. And she's like, oh, the normal questions, how much would it cost, this and that, blah, blah. I answered all her questions. I don't hear anything for 2 weeks. Then she's like, oh, okay, and then asked me one of the same questions again and a bunch of different questions. I answer all of them. This went on for about 2 months. Every week or two, I'd get a new email. Now, no money had exchanged hands, no contract had been signed. It was all just like research and fact-finding. And so I assumed that it wasn't happening, and I went away. Oh, it was when I was in Japan, and I got back from Japan, and I had an email waiting for me like, hey, okay, so I want to book it. How do we go about doing this, after not hearing from her? And I said, oh, you know what? You should have said something sooner. I'm booked that day, which was a lie. But I was like, I don't want to work with this person. This sounds, it's already, hours of my life for no money, and she seems terrible. And so while the money would be nice and everything, I just realized that it was going to be more trouble than it was worth just from the communication I had before the job even started.
Yeah, you got to listen to your gut on that kind of stuff for sure.
Yeah, and it was like, don't go there. I don't know what my gut sounds like. I think I saw Farrell Bolding appear.
Yeah, I did. What's up, Farrell?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
I saw him with a mustache in the room, and I was like, that's got to be Farrell.
Either that or Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, I'm not that cool. I don't have that many cool points.
You'll get there.
Keep trying, Farrell. Keep your head up. So you got in. Sweet.
So he has to do his intro now.
Yeah, we didn't do your intro for you.
We all sang a song that involved our name and an animal. Go.
I'm not doing that.
Sorry to see you go.
I will introduce myself to those in the room who don't know who I am. Keeping it simple, my name is Farrell, and I draw stuff, and sometimes people buy it. That's pretty much my whole super comic career in a nutshell. I draw weird things, and sometimes people dig it, sometimes they don't. But I'm having fun no matter what. My current project is a rockabilly blaxploitation fighting manga called They Call Me Black Fists.
Where can we get that, Farrell?
You can actually go to my website, farrellbolding.com. I bought my own name, so nobody else could buy it. And you can order it from the store on there. I'm currently working on book 2, which I hope to have ready by Rose City Comic Con in September.
Where's Rose City? What state is that?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay.
When is Rose City?
September 19th and 20th, something like that.
Okay. It's definitely one that I want to look into.
Yeah, I've tabled at Rose City every year they've been operating. The price has steadily gone up, but it's still a good convention.
How are they as far as their just the crowd's reception to like independent comics and stuff?
Oh man, we're getting mid back.
Oh, somebody's got speakers on.
Is that me again?
It's somebody.
Might be me. 1 second here.
Seems okay now.
Nope, I heard it.
Yeah.
We're double the fun.
It's okay. It makes me feel like I'm in 60.
I'm gonna mute myself. Tell me if it stops.
Now we're testing.
No,
Circle.
still happening.
It's probably me.
Yeah,
1 second here.
Not this time. It's usually me.
Let me go grab some headphones and I'll switch off, I guess.
And he was never seen again.
Oh, then now.
Screen, Farrell. You don't have to log out if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, you can just plug in headphones. You don't have to log out.
That sounds good right now.
What page number is this, Kevin?
56.
56.
So 72 is the halfway point. Yeah. Well, no one's talking, so I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm curious, so I think out of everyone who's done the 100 days, is Farrell the only one who finished a comic so far? Or finished their comic?
I think so.
At
But
least
he's not here right now, so.
at least in the group that's here right now.
Right. There's just I just can't keep track, I guess, of everybody, but so I'm curious, and I don't really have an answer, like a definitive answer yet for myself, but what is everybody's plans with your comic afterwards? Like, are you just gonna put it out and do conventions, or are you gonna get it in the shops, or are you gonna do web comics and print, or what's the deal, guys?
Well, I guess I'll field this one. So I'm definitely gonna do conventions. Like I said, it was supposed to be done by the end of the month, which is not gonna be done. So I talked about this on my show, but I'll mention it again. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't have it done, I'm just gonna do like a mini comic of the first 8 pages, and just real, down and dirty. It's not gonna have any shading or anything like that. Just black and white, just basic mini comic.
Yeah.
Folded and stapled 8.5 by 11 sheet, and then just the first 8 pages, and I'm going to sell it for $1, just on request for anyone that's asking about when the third one's going to be out. And then with that, there'll be a coupon for $1 off for the third issue when it comes out. Just something that people can read. And so
yeah, I heard you mention that on your show. I thought that was a really good idea. Not just the ash cam, but the coupon, because I was thinking people aren't going to want to buy like half a book, but yeah, that coupon's a really smart idea, dude.
Yeah, and not that this thing's gonna be worth anything, but if people are worried about cutting out a coupon, they wouldn't need to do that. They just show it to me, because I don't think I'm gonna have that many of them. So many that I'm not gonna remember who gave it to me.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I've told people you could have a discount for XYZ, whatever reason happened at that moment, but I'm just I'll remember you, and I won't. But anybody that comes up and says, "Hey, you told me I was going to get a discount," I just assume they're telling the truth.
You're a generous man, folks. You're a generous man.
Well, it's more that I'm is that the level of criminal that you are, that you're lying to some independent artist about a discount? Sure. You win, buddy. You got over on me.
It's like, I'm just going to give you this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. What if they can't find you? If someone
they can find.
Can they mail it to you or something?
They can find me online. Yeah, I don't know how I do that, but if they, if they order on my store, which is a store NV store, there's a place where you can put a note and just say, hey, about one of your comics or whatever. So that's a possibility too. So yeah, but I guess that didn't totally answer your question. That answered just what I'm going to do with that. But so yeah, definitely I'm going to do once this issue's done. I'm hoping I'm going to just start on right away with the next issue. But they'll have issue 3, and then it's probably the whole book will probably go about. I think it looks like it might be 5 or 6 issues now. So I'll definitely be halfway or more than halfway when I get this done, and hopefully it'll go faster than it did before. Because I mean, I started this thing, Kevin. You remember way back with the mini comics dump truck I don't even know how long ago that was.
Well, yeah, I mean that would have been about 5 years ago.
Wow, that is a long time. Yeah, it won't be that long, but
the Monkey Mountain Friend show for the very first mini comics dump truck before it was, Art and Story, and that was 2009, and the second one that you were involved in was not that long afterwards.
Yeah.
So. Hey, comics take a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could do it quicker than I have. And I'm getting more into it now that the story's a little further along and I kind of know where it's going. And I do want to get to that point where it's finished and I can answer the second part of your question or whatever, but collect it as a trade. Hopefully, before that, run it as a Kickstarter and get hopefully get some kind of a fan base and readership, and which will hopefully help me on my Kickstarter and fund it. And if I can't fund it, then I guess I'll do it myself.
That seems to be the move, and I've seen a lot of people do that more successfully than funding an individual issue or whatever, and that's kind of my rough plan too, is that when I have the whole story done and already printed and proven, to then do a Kickstarter for the trade. It seems to engender more confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you were out, Pharaoh, but we were talking about you're probably the only one that's done the 100s that's actually finished a book so far, so.
Bravo, sir.
I finished a book in an anthology, actually. And
you got to brag.
Feeling pretty good about
it. Yeah, you should.
Well, I'm not like you guys. I'm a weekend warrior at this, at best. I do
Which
this
makes
for
it
fun.
all the worse that you're getting more done than we are.
Not necessarily. Look, man, it's keeping me off the streets and keeping me off drugs, man. It's my after-school program, okay?
You're at the Boys and Girls Club, just hunkering down. One of those desks that are built into a chair.
No, I'm just having a blast. So, wherever the creating takes me, I let it take me there.
Yeah, I envy that. That's the exact opposite of how I work.
Everything I do comics-wise is without a net. I don't write scripts,
I know.
I don't do layouts. I'm just winging it. I'm just whatever ends up on the page, I just give it a thumbs up and keep going.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I do not recommend it to everybody. But it works for me, so,
If it works, go with it.
You guys have gotten some progress on your 100 stuff. It's not always about finishing something, it's about actually enjoying the process.
No, that's true.
That is correct.
I feel like I'm probably the only one that doesn't actually, enjoy drawing. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I feel like everybody has their complaints and stuff, but, even when I'm working on my stuff, I don't really like it. Is that only me? It can't be only me.
I think that's when you first said that, I was like, that's kind of a weird thing for an artist not to enjoy being an artist, because really, if that was the case with me, I would have quit a long time ago if I didn't enjoy it.
I know, and I think about quitting all the time, but I'm like, well, what else am I going to do?
What else am I going to do?
Huh?
See, it's keeping you off the streets and off the drugs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's obviously for my videos, I'm not enjoying having clients anymore, but I feel the exact opposite when I'm working on my own stuff, be it the comic or painting or just a sketch even,
Right. Well, I certainly enjoy working on my own stuff more than client work. And if I'm just doodling or whatever, I get a certain level of enjoyment out of that. But like when I'm working on my comic pages that I give a crap about, it's nothing but stress.
Well, sometimes, yeah. I mean, like there's been some environment pages where, you know, on the videos I might be like, look, I did this. It's taking a little bit longer than I wanted, but hey, awesome. And really, you know, and the reality sometimes is like, God damn it, why isn't this working fast? You know?
Yeah, I definitely put a positive spin when I'm getting frustrated. Well, and the thing is, I'm generally a pretty happy dude. Like, I'm barely ever like upset or depressed or whatever, except when I'm working, and then I'm pretty miserable.
That's really messed up, man.
But I feel like maybe that's like the price I pay, like for being happy the rest of the time. It's like, well, now I gotta go draw and get all the angry and frustrated.
Damn it! I was so happy.
And then I had to draw this goddamn picture. It reminds me. Have you guys seen the show Spaced?
Yeah.
Like the first.
I think I've seen like the first couple episodes.
That show's hilarious.
Yeah. So you know the for those who don't know, but sounds like Pharaoh knows, there's a character. His name is Brian, and he's an artist who kind of lives in the basement of this apartment, or I don't know if it's an apartment building. You want to say it's like a housing unit.
Yeah, it's like a housing unit.
Yeah,
That's
and
the best way to put it.
and there's this artist. His name is Brian, and he's always, you know, when he's talking to you, he's very like hello, very quiet and everything, and then the door closes, and there's always some scene where the door closes on his apartment, and then just like this like black metal starts playing, and it's just all
Yeah,
and he just like
he's
starts
like the most timid dude.
yeah, and then and he just starts like throwing paint everywhere, and there's all these quick cuts of him like biting his nails and like freaking out. And sometimes when I'm working for clients, I feel like that. But when I work on my own comic, I feel like that old Coca-Cola commercial where everyone wanted to sing about giving it the world of Coke. Like all of a sudden I've got like a halo of flowers. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Whoa, and I'm happy. What is this emotion?
I guess for me the difference is when I'm working for clients, I certainly get frustrated and everything, but it's so much easier to be like, they're idiots. They're giving me bad direction. Oh, this is them. And usually it is them, but I could just, any negativity I have, I could just dump on them. Oh, if I had more time or if they gave me better, options. But when it's just me, I have nobody to blame but myself for it looking not like I want it to look and coming out worse than I want it to be.
Right.
So then I'm like, I'm an idiot.
No, see, I think your problem is the perfectionist thing.
I've heard that, and it's probably true, but then my stuff should be better.
Because you have to understand there's no such thing as perfection. Once you let go of the idea that everything's going to be perfect, you will be a much happier person. There is no such thing as perfection. You got to let that go.
That happened to me, and I made so much before. I mean, before I started this particular comic, not this issue, but the comic in general, I would redo pages over and over again, and I just got nowhere. It's all this work put into it, and finally I just said, you know what? It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect, and I'm just gonna, do what I can, make it look good, and now I get a lot more done. So
yeah,
I'm
you
with you.
gotta roll with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Are you saying there's never like you're working on your own project and you don't like lose yourself? You're always fully aware that this is work and I got to make it better. And
sometimes if I'm listening to a really good podcast or a YouTube video, I might forget for a minute and be more paying attention to that, but then I'll usually be making mistakes. No, the whole idea of losing myself in my art has never happened to me in my life.
Huh.
no.
Actually, that's not true. When I used to play in the band, sometimes then I would lose myself, but that's not drawing. That's performing. And if you make a mistake, nobody notices.
You have to find that zen point for that. Like, it took me years to find that zen point. But then I realized that if I put on like old school R&B, I draw like the best things I've ever drawn in my life. And I've been doing it ever since. That's like my zen point. You have to find that zen point.
I think my zen point is going to be just hitting the books and studying my anatomy more. I do appreciate
that could be a zen point.
Therapy session for me, though. Everyone's coming together to help me with my problems.
Farrell,
could be his input.
Who's your
I'm sorry?
favorite cool R&B artist?
Oh, let me see.
Or one of them, because favorite bands is like,
Yeah, I know. That's
what air molecule is your favorite to breathe?
Oh, let me see. That's a dangerous game to play right there.
Wait, this
Which one is my favorite? Damn. I don't know. Recently I've been really into like Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Oh, I remember them.
Like I love Frankie Beverly and Maze. You could give me Anita Baker any day of the week and I'm all over it. Like I love Anita Baker. Give me some Teddy Pendergrass and I'm equally all over it. Love Teddy Pendergrass. That's the stuff I listen to when I'm making work, when I'm doing art.
Man, when Teddy Pendergrass did Live Aid, that was a tearjerker.
I know.
My go-to right now is for R&B is Fats Domino and the Cadillacs.
Oh hell yeah.
I like the like jumping stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of messed up because like when I want to draw like violent things, I have to go listen to R&B. But when I want to draw nice fluffy things, I listen to like Queens of the Stone Age and horrible stuff. So I don't know. My parents must not have hugged me enough. I think my parents didn't hug me enough. I swear. Like I don't know.
You should see my record collection. No one hugged me. I'll bring over some septic.
I like electronic.
Nice.
I listen to a lot of electronic or, you know, like just music without words mostly. If I could be in a mood sometimes for just like alternative music, although it's pretty broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as that anymore.
Isn't that just popular music from the 90s, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the alternative stuff.
Because I remember as a teenager in the '80s, like the records I was buying, there was already an alternative section. And then the '90s come, and they're like, "Oh, this new music, alternative music," and I was like, "Oh, you mean the shit that's been in the section that I've been buying since 1984?" And then all of a sudden it was not alternative, and I was like, "What is this an alternative to? It's just fucking shitty pop music." Oh, excuse my language. I don't know if you guys
Yeah, I've got a spot in my heart for shitty pop music. I listen to a lot of shitty pop music.
I do too, but it's got to be like Pendergrass. Oh,
that's horrible. I'm hurt now.
I'm just kidding. Come on.
I'm one of those people. For years, I wouldn't admit it, but I like stuff like NSYNC. I can get into some NSYNC. I can get into like the Backstreet Boys, and I love the Spice Girls. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
I did go see Spice World at the movie theater.
Yeah, that's quality entertainment right there.
I don't judge you for liking that stuff, but I no, I mean, because no, there's plenty of crap I like that other people would hate and stuff. So whatever, to each their own. But like, that is not what I thought was gonna come out of your mouth. And you're like, I liked popular music. I thought you were gonna be like, like Pearl Jam or something. I don't know. Like,
well, I like Pearl Jam too, but I have a soft spot for horrible pop music.
Fair enough.
I know it's not good stuff. I know overall it's not good music.
Sometimes
it doesn't mean I didn't like it.
Mostly, I use music as noise. It's not, I'm not. No, I mean, like when I'm drawing and trying to concentrate and focus, it shouldn't be something that really distracts me. It should be just something that gets lost in the background to keep my head from talking to itself,
I understand.
That's definitely what I think of when I think of electronic music, noise. So.
Peter, that is a great quote, man. To keep my head from talking to itself.
Well, my head's like always
talking
active.
To itself. I know what you mean. Just the way you said it is so unique. What's going on with your house and cat situation, Peter? I haven't been up on what the situation is.
Yeah, how's that been?
Oh, it's more hell and different things going on.
More hell.
The yes. Well, I have turkey mites, so they're slowly crawling underneath my skin.
Oh.
Yeah. So
They're under my skin.
Sounds like the opposite of good.
What is that? Like some kind of flea? What is that?
it's I mean, it's either that or scabies or something.
Oh.
It's just something I picked up somewhere around here, and yeah, it's like parasite under your skin, and they move around and make
How are you so
bumps
mellow about this? I would be rubbing my skin with a cheese grater right now if I was you.
Well, I've had them for some time.
Wow. You're a better man than
I do want to.
Yeah,
I do want to rip my skin off, but it's
Say
I
it
mean,
so calmly. Yeah, I do want to rip my skin off. I mean, I kind of wish I was dead, but
I just put on techno music and it stops me from.
Oh.
But I was talking to Lisa before. I was like, I really wish I can just go into suspended animation for a while, and just until they're gone.
Do you
it's
on the house, or how do you get rid of them?
Well, yeah, we got to do that and like clean all the linen and like every couple of days and just put crap on everything, thing that's on our skin. Like I've had it for quite some time, like a month now. Lisa just started getting it. So
now that she got it, things are gonna get taken care of faster, I bet.
Yeah, of course. No, but we know more now than we did a month ago, so we didn't even know what the hell it was.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, we're dealing with that, and it's probably gonna go on another month or so. Who knows how long?
Yeah, that just sounds terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, man. As far as like the cat situation, I mean, they're at the sanctuary, and that's until like I lost a month of work, between this stuff and Lisa's mom was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and then I went into the ER because we're trying to figure out what the hell this was, and then Lisa went in the ER because she was going to visit her mom like twice a day for all the time she was in the hospital, and she was exhausted. So it's like, and then my computer was down for 2.5 weeks, and blah blah blah. So lots have been going on.
You cannot catch a break, man.
No, so like I'm trying to work on these pages, sample pages. The artist Barry, he's going to be at Denver Comic Con, and he's going to connect with publishers and try to get a good paying gig, and like we're going to go in as a team. I'm really hoping that happens because I need it. At this point, I was broke last month. Things are not much better now.
So is he the writer and the penciler on this project?
Well, these are just samples. He's a penciler. And,
I see. So you're like, here's what we could do as a team. Hire us to do your book.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We're the team on End of Days. That was the Kickstarter.
Okay. Well, so
that went on.
Pardon my ignorance then. I mean, I've shown at conventions and stuff, but if you already have a book full of work that the two of you worked on, why do you need sample pages?
Well, this is sample pages for Marvel, but he's also going to show, like to other publishers like IDW, Boom, I don't know, whoever the big publishers are nowadays.
Right, but and again, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I just don't understand. Like, why do you need to do special pages for different publishers if you've got like action and all different types of pages in the book you already did. What are you doing for these? What's different about these pages? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, he was talking to one of the editors up at Marvel, and they said, well, here's some script and
they
do some
asked for
sampling.
these. They specifically asked for these. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. He'll show these to other publishers, and he'll show or end the day's work to other publishers.
Right.
The thing that he needs to, and I don't know how you get this across, but the way he works, just his work ethic, just how he powers through all these books, I mean, that's what's going to sell him to one of these publishers, because he's proven that he can get stuff done and done fast. And I mean, his work, the quality of his work's excellent too, but I mean, it's not always just the quality of work.
Meeting deadlines, yeah.
Most people don't have that. I mean, most people can't push stuff out like your Jack Kirby or something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So
tell
we're
him
hoping,
that. Be like, I'm like Jack
something
Kirby,
really
you should
hits.
hire me.
Yeah.
Scott was the only one who answered. But does anybody else have any specific plans about your comic other than just putting it out and going to shows with it?
Well, as far as Bright Eyes and Neon Eden and Blood Rights and those, the plan with that is to do it as a webcomic. I mean, that's what I started, and I'll get back to. Somebody's echoing.
I hear it as well.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if it's. I'm gonna mute myself. Tell me if you hear it.
Blah blah blah.
Shut-da-da.
Nope.
Yep.
Guess it's Scott.
It's Scott.
Oh, by the way, Jay Allen made it into the chat. Hey, Jay Allen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Come on. Congratulations on finishing.
Yes, congratulations on the 100s.
Well done.
Indeed.
Did he drop off?
Try to come on so we can talk about it. Come on. What are you doing?
Oh.
What are you, a jerk? Come on.
We lost her.
When I asked this question, I'm just wondering because, I have ideas of what I want to do with mine, but I just want to steal your magic.
Yeah.
No, but I'm curious, because as stupid as it sounds, I'm going to try to push this mine as hard as I can to make it my job.
Right.
And I know it's really hard. Luckily, I've got a little bit of an upper leg in that I know some people so that I can at least get the door open. Doesn't mean that the door's not going to slam right away behind me, but...
To me, when you ask the question of, are you going to do X, Y, Z, all the things you listed, I was thinking, yes, yeah, all of that. That is, I mean, there might be other options as well, but I'm going to print a floppy, I'm going to do a Kickstarter for a trade, I'm going to put it online, I'm going to go to shows, I'm going to go to local comic shops, I'll probably mail it to a few places, physical copies, when it's going to be printed, and, some might work, some might be a waste of time, but yeah, my plan is to any possible venue that it could be put out on, I'll at least try once.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the thing, too, is, when I do a Kickstarter for a floppy, I've seen other people do this, is they'll have a certain, tier where you get 10 copies, and then a realtor.
Yeah, a retail version.
Retail.
Yeah.
Realtor. In case you want to buy a house, you can get this start your collection in your new house. But no, yeah. So the retailer can get a bunch of copies and stuff. So that's something I want to do because I want to avoid Diamond as long as possible.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because they want 60%, and they ask for 40 to 60% is what they ask. But what if you say, I just want to give you 40? They're going to go, I just don't feel like distributing you as well as other people.
Yeah, they're not going to push you as much. They're going to make your margins ridiculous. I've seen them do it to people.
Yeah, totally. And then on top of that, you've got the retailer needs to get their cut. So you're essentially, if you go through Diamond, at our stage in the game, you're making like...
You're losing like 80%.
Mm.
You're losing like 70-80%.
I mean,
easy.
the impression I had from Diamond anyway was that it like they wouldn't be interested in you until you were moving enough that you would need help moving it anyway.
I don't really know. I mean, I've heard like some stories like that, kind of like that as well. You know.
Right.
I
mean, I guess, well, yeah, it wasn't. I didn't imagine I'd be putting my stuff in Diamond, at least not initially, unless I was successful enough that I couldn't personally handle mailing stuff out. And when it got to that level, then I guess I'd have no choice. But
yeah.
I mean, isn't that a good problem at that point then?
Yeah, I mean, then that's something to think about too. Because that's gonna, if your comic starts being successful and you're still like doing the whole show yourself.
Yeah.
That's gonna really take a hit on your work time on the actual book.
Right, and I guess that's, like I said, I imagine that I'll put the book out and nobody will give a crap, and I'll sell a few at shows, and maybe I can get some local comic shops to pick it up. But by and large, I won't sell many, and it won't really impact my work time. But if it got to the point where I was selling hundreds and thousands, then maybe it'd be worth taking a cut in profit to not have to deal with that and let Diamond do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're selling that point, I think you can afford to give everyone a cut.
Yeah.
Avoid that headache. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I'm gonna put out one issue and it's gonna. Hey, everybody, guess what? I got a career.
Guess what?
Hooray!
Yeah, I've met my goal. I no longer work. I don't think it's gonna go like that. I think it's a long haul thing for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I think that sometimes when I say this stuff on my videos, maybe I'm not clear enough because some people kind of assume that I think it's going to be an overnight success, and that's not it at all.
Those people are simpletons.
Well,
they obviously don't live reality with the rest of us.
Or, well, they could also be ignorant in a literal sense of the word.
You might want to think about this more, But really, I've thought about it a lot. But like right now, also I go on the fence about this kind of stuff sometimes. But right now, like if I get all the floppies done myself and it gets enough a good crowd or something like that, like something like Image is not saying that they're gonna be like, yes, because you want to be published, you're going to be, but something like Image for the trade is kind of sounding attractive to me.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with distribution and
yeah.
Image specifically because it's not 90s Image anymore, and they've got a lot of good stuff going on. And
I've heard similar like pricing things about Image where people end up losing money publishing with them and stuff. But
I've heard that too, and then I've heard like the flip side,
right,
from friends who are published by them.
Yeah, well, my thought on it, and again, these are all problems we'll be lucky to have eventually, but my thought on that was that even if I was not 100% sure how much profit I'd make or how financially it would help me, just from being in comic stores and being at conventions, having a book with Image, even if it lost money, would help you. Would help you sell at conventions, would help you sell your next book, because there's still this brand mentality where, like, if I say, oh yeah, I draw comics, like, oh, for who? Marvel, DC, Image? And as stupid as it is, if I could say, oh yeah, I put my book out through Image, immediately I'd be more legitimate in a lot of people's eyes, which would translate to more work and more money, which is stupid, but it's true.
Yeah. I don't... I agree with most of that. I don't think losing money is going to benefit you.
Well, when I say losing money, I don't mean like I owe Image money, but like I put the book out and I make like $100. Like I don't actually make anything on it. I guess.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, again, it is like the long haul, and I've got friends who do work for Marvel and DC, and have their creator-owned stuff come out through Image and all that stuff, and the common thing, but they've been at it for so freaking long, and the common kind of thing is you gotta have 10 books out before you really kind of start
making a living.
Making a name
from it.
But
I'll say this. Like, if you base success off of making money off of the book itself, then you're probably not going to make it.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. But,
okay, we're all in agreement.
Yeah. I think you should elaborate more, Peter.
No, it's like I don't think like I don't think the serious money is making money off the book. You know, if you break even, I think that's a good thing with the book itself.
Right.
You know, you go to conventions, you make money that way. You sell prints, you probably make more money that way. You know, you commissions, you do other things. You have merchandise as well. You know, if you're going to build the brand of Monkey Mod, then you make a lot of merchandise, and you'll make better money outside of comics. 'Cause comics are like expensive, and the profit margin is small. So you know, if it pays for itself, that's a good thing, and you don't worry about making a big profit off of it.
Almost like the comic is an ad for all the other stuff you sell.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds bad, but you know, the reality is that most people don't make a fortune off of comics, and that's the reason is it's just it doesn't add up. So.
I agree with you, and I also disagree with you because I think some of the stuff is a little short-sighted, to be quite honest. Because, like, and I'm not sure. I don't want to name drop, so I'm just not.
Drop a name. Drop it.
Who are doing well in comics, and they're not selling T-shirts. They're selling comics, and you know, I mean, they work their asses off to get to where they're at, but that's where they make the money, from writing the comics.
Like writers whose names rhyme with traction?
People? Or are you talking people who are doing their own books, or people who have, you know, got signed on by other companies?
Gaz reads one of my friend's books because he's mentioned it on his show.
Yeah, is there a reason you're being coy about it?
I just don't want to be a name dropper. But
okay, I'll drop it for you. It's Matt Fraction's his name, right?
No.
No, what the heck is his name? Oh, Rick Remender. No. Yeah, Rick Remender, who does Black Science, which is awesome, so I'll plug it because he's not my friend and that book's great. So.
Yeah.
That's not Fear Agent.
Yeah, that's not his only book, you know, that's done well. I mean, granted, he's been at this for way longer than me, but, you know, I've seen it happen. He's not the only one. Because through Rick, I've made friends with other people who, you know, are doing well. And, you know, and even before they were doing well, I knew them, you know.
Well, certainly you know what you're talking about in that situation, but like you said, he has done a bunch of books for major labels and stuff in addition to his own, and kind of built his career. I guess I would say what I think Peter's saying, but instead I'll say what I would say is, while you're absolutely right about that it can be done, I'm thinking more for people like us when our first, second book is out. If we want to be able to make a living with that, we're gonna need T-shirts. We're gonna need prints, and like and I see this with like small bands too. Like, there's a nerdcore rapper, MC Frontalot, and he does a song with another guy, and it's about being a T-shirt salesman. And the whole thing is like, I thought we were musicians, but really, I come and do the show, and the only way I make money is by selling T-shirts. And it's kind of true until and you're right, you could reach a certain level where then the work is selling itself, and you're moving enough units, and old stories that you wrote a while ago keep selling, and you build up a library. All that's absolutely true. But in the short term, for everybody on this thing, if we want to make money, we got to make T-shirts or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. What I think is short-sighted is when I always hear people like, well, you just can't make money in comics. It's just not, you just can't. And it's a defeatist in a way.
Right.
And, you know, and then, you know, you see people doing it all the time, and it kind of sets you up to be like, well, mediocre's good enough.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut in this conversation.
What's that?
I said I'm just going to keep my mouth shut in this conversation.
No, I want to hear that.
I have an opinion, say something. Argue or agree, either way.
Facebook, we're in a lot of
I don't know.
Friend,
like,
you know? Cool.
Like, I tell people all the time, like, I love comics. And, you know, like, this was, like, my first love. But, you know, I grew up poor, and I don't like poor. I don't like having to kill on the road to poor to get to somewhere else. Poor sucks. I went back to school and got my bachelor's degree in something else that I love because poor just sucks. And
That's
as much as
valid.
I chip away at these comics, I pretty much know that unless I have some major sellout moment, that this is not going to make me any legitimate money. Where I can say, this thing sustains itself. You know, like, and maybe that's because I just didn't dedicate my life to it, so I can't. You know, I'm saying it from the perspective of, like I said, somebody who's like the Monday night quarterback. Well,
yeah, Monday night quarterback's never going to play the Super Bowl, but like, you know, for some of us, it's what we do for a living. You know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. My opinion does not factor into that.
Well, no, I mean it's still valid to hear. But,
yeah. And some of us, I mean, the majority of us here, I think, make a living as artists, but not as comic artists, with the exception of maybe Peter.
Well, and me, I'm working on.
Well, true, but I mean, maybe I have a misunderstanding of your career, but like I have been working on comics recently too. But if I look at the work I've done in my career, comics is a small part of it. Professional.
No, I feel you on that.
Yeah, in the grand scheme, it is. But like I've worked in comics and I've gone out, and I've come back and I've gone out.
Right.
But
I guess you're right that it is sort of defeatist and short-sighted, but at the same time, I still think it's kind of good advice to give people when I'm at a table and they're like, "Hey, I want to be a comic artist." I'm like, "Okay, you won't make any money. You will be poor. Are you okay with that?" Okay. Now start drawing a lot, and you know, like I'm exaggerating, but it's like if that possibility scares people, they should not get into it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not trying to live in fantasy land. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah. No one's saying that you try to do that.
No. Yeah. I know. But like sometimes when I hear people like, "Hey, you know, I did a show, the comic show this weekend, and it was a success." And you're like, "Oh, awesome! How'd you do?" "Well, I broke even." That's a hobby. That's a fun weekend.
Mm.
You know?
I agree with you on that.
I
That's
agree.
the way I look at it.
Yeah, like what? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what Gazbot was saying before about being poor and everything. So, or you're not going to make any money in this, because I'll tell people like that too. If they, you know, but the reason why is because if you say, okay, it's hard, you've got to do a lot of work, it's tough, you're not going to make any money, and this and that, is that something you want to do? Or I won't even say that, but if you can say all that stuff and it doesn't deter someone, then then they're ready to, they're going to be better off, or they're going to be, you know, their chances are better of making it work, you know.
I completely agree. It just weeds out the people that shouldn't even be trying, basically.
Right. Because you have to have a passion for it. If you don't, well, except for Gazbot.
No, I have a passion. It's a strong feeling. It's just not a positive feeling. I enjoyed it at some point. And now
I'm sorry, man.
It's like being in a loveless marriage, you know? You just got to stick with it. Hope it turns around.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing people a disservice if you don't let them know how hard it is, you know? Cause it's very hard, for sure. So.
I think that's the thing, too. I think sometimes people don't realize the amount of work that legitimately goes into even self-publishing or trying to get your name out there. I think people don't quite grasp that sometimes. You know, like people walk up to you, I want to do this. Like, do you know how much work you're going to have to put in to do this?
Right.
Yeah, it's like the people that come up and show you like 10 pinups of Wolverine, and that it's like, oh look, well, yeah, those are. Who cares? You know, I mean, I'm more polite about it, but it's like that doesn't show me anything.
I know, don't you love that?
Yeah. Well, can you critique this? Yeah, go get a different job.
I always tell people that when they do that, like, you know, and I haven't done a show for a while, but people always ask for critiques and stuff, and they do that. Oh, I want to be a comic artist, and they show you pinups, and just my whole thing is, I'm like, these are nice, but you gotta work on storytelling. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Draw a comic, I'll let you know.
Like demo talk.
Yeah, I try to be nice and tell them, like, you really need to work on your narrative.
No, man, I just want to be an artist. Yeah, but a comic artist, right?
Yeah, you gotta tell a story.
But that could backfire on you, because then you can get the guy or the girl that's like, oh, I have one, and it all starts in the Nebula 76 500 years ago, and then you're like, oh.
And then you do this, you're like, nope, elevator pitch. So what's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Tell me when in 5 seconds.
Well, I can only tell you about the first of the 7 books, and
Yeah. It's going to be an epic tome.
how much do you have done? Well, I have it all in my head.
I've written an Elvish language to go along with it, and a
I know.
decryption key.
That's exactly the right order to do things. You've got it exactly right. Create a language and then do pages.
Yeah. And I brought that up because someone actually said something similar to me at 8. They created some race and culture and language and all this stuff, and I was like, well, what's the story? Well, they're elves, kind of.
When I first moved to Portland, I hung out with creators, and it used to frustrate me because that's all they do. Like, every time I'd see them, well, what's new? Well, I created this new thing. I'm like, yeah, but have you actually done any of the comic work yet?
Right.
Like, congratulations, you created a new language. You're geekier than I am.
Yeah.
You've done it. Awesome, you've done it.
Something I've sort of said in the last couple of years a lot, because I've been guilty of it, not to that level, but of just talking about stuff instead of doing it. And I find the more I talk about it, the less likely I am to do it. Yeah. So I try not to talk about my future ideas, because then, and I think there's something to it, that you get a certain amount of like serotonin or positive reinforcement. People, oh, that's a great idea, and then I was like, no, I don't need to make it. They told me it was good. You know, like it kind of, you lose all your enthusiasm because you got the reward already. So I try to tell people, until you're working on it, don't talk about it if you can help it.
I heard that, like, I don't know if you guys watch Jake Parker's videos.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, he did kind of the same thing, but he did it on purpose, because he said he had this idea and he knew he was never going to get around to it. So he said, I'm just going to tell you what it is, and basically laid it out. And that way he got it out of his chest, and then he's on to whatever else.
Yeah, but he was admitting that by telling people he wasn't. Yeah, and that's I think most people, though, tell you about it, and they think they're still going to do it next year or something. And they talk to him next year, and they're like, no, man, I got another idea that I'm never going to do.
I got new shit, man. I got new shit.
And they always get annoyed when you bring up the old stuff. Oh, did you finish that thing? No, don't even worry about that. Well, no, but you were so excited. What happened? Did you get No, listen, I got to... Don't get mad at me.
Yeah, that's one of the things I found with Monkey Mod. You know, there was like different points where I tried to restart it before I started doing the 100 days, and I even did some pages. You know, I got less than a handful of pages finished, but yeah, it was totally like I told the story and okay, done.
Right.
So to mention, Johannes is with us.
Heyo.
Hey, dude.
Hey, Johannes.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys? I'm finally here.
Welcome.
I finally made it out to something.
Yay!
Good to see
So
you.
introduce yourself.
I am Johannes Wick. You can find me pretty much everywhere. I've been
He's
working.
in my house.
Yes, I am.
That's creepy.
I'm working on his eyebrows as we talk.
Ow.
Quit that. Yeah. I've been working diligently on a story called the
Pelican.
Pelican. Yeah, that was it. I've been working so hard on it, I forgot about it. No, actually, I feel as though that I failed. Gazbot might say different to it. I have been working on it every day, but I have not been able to do the videos as of the past 3 weeks. So
Yeah, I don't see how that's a failure. If you've worked on it every day, you've succeeded.
because
The whole point of the 100 days is not to make videos; it's more to do it than the videos. The videos should be secondary.
that
I agree.
yes, and I agree with that to a certain extent. You know,
Oh no, full
like
extent. That's the guy that created it.
Huh?
He's the guy that created it.
How dare you sass him?
Yeah, I'm sassing back, buddy.
You guys.
I brought the sass. No, yes, I'm glad that you feel that way, because that makes me feel better. But I was looking at it as like I was letting, I guess, people that were following me down, because I just kind of abruptly was like, oh, I can't do this right now because my life is just filled with these other things. But I'm going to continue to make things happen.
Yeah, see, there's that inappropriate time to laugh.
Yeah.
What's up, Q?
I was hoping you didn't hear that. Like, my life's been tough.
I've missed your laugh, Q.
She'll respond to that in 37 seconds.
Yeah, before you were here, I was like, I'm gonna wait until someone says something like kind of heavy, like, you know, you're like right now, your life is crazy or whatever, and she's, oh my god. But yeah, you know, I think like that kind of stuff, you know, if people are following you and you kind of tell them, like, you know, my shit's crazy right now, I just need a break. I think, you know, they give you a little bit of a break, you know, and I understand. So I wouldn't worry about it, man.
I completely agree. Even if you
I kind of let everybody know what's up, but I still felt really bad, you know. But you
Well,
know, to whatever a certain extent that I'm going to allow it to, because you know I got shit that I got to take care of, and that's just how it is.
No, absolutely. And if you're still drawing your comics, that is number one, man. Like you're really, in the end, you're only accountable to yourself.
Yeah. But you know, I need to also agree with what Kevin just said, or maybe it was you guys, where it's the whole like when you start talking about something,
right,
you start doing less of it.
Yep.
True.
Because when I'm not talking about it, when I'm not doing the videos, I start killing it.
Well, that's, I mean, if that's the reality you're facing, then I'm not going to dispute that, but that's not exactly the point I was making. Because you are working on the Pelican. And if you say, hey, here's what I did today and here's what I'm going to do tomorrow, that's not the same as the person who has an idea for a story that they've been telling you about every time you get coffee but never does any work on it. That's more what I was talking about.
Yeah, well, there's like I've fallen into that trap where a friend of mine's like, you know, oh, this character, you know, whoever this is a really great character. What are you gonna do? And I give the elevator pitch, and maybe we're going out for coffee, and so we're sitting there. So they're like, oh, so what happens? And then I tell the story, and they go, that's gonna be a great comic. And then you know, you tell them the whole story.
Yeah.
And then,
so now they're not gonna buy it.
what's that?
They're like, you just shot it. I don't need to buy it. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Well, yeah, then you've lost one customer. But are you saying? Well, wait. What is your point in that story, Kevin? I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, I think I was trying to.
missed you guys.
If I'm being correct about it.
Sorry.
I think I was just kind of trying to strengthen your point, if that's where you're going.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. If you're on my side, yes.
Like on 100 Days or something like that. Like if you say, "Hey, here's what I did on this page," you're not telling the whole story, you know. So.
Well, I guess you're kind of making a slightly different point, though.
Oh,
Because unless I'm misunderstanding you, because you seem to be saying about that the person you're telling a story to then knows the whole thing, so why are they going to want to read it?
No. Because
Okay.
you now have that. You said this. Like,
Yeah.
You now have the satisfaction of them telling you how great your story is, and you're like,
okay.
"Oh, I told the greatest story ever."
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Then.
Like done. Like, you know, it's. I don't need to tell anyone else because. You know,
Right. I had an idea, which I'm not going to repeat because I'm hoping I could regain the excitement for it, for a project to do after the horror. And I was thinking about it like a while ago, and my dad was in town, and I hardly ever talk about art stuff with my dad, so it's weird that I even had this conversation with him. But I'm like, oh, I got this idea for this project, XYZ, and he's like, that is genius. That's like the best thing. Oh my God, how did you think? Like, it was exactly what you'd want to hear, especially from your father, you know? And I'm like, yeah, and I never did anything with it from that point on.
Yeah, this is a guy I've been trying to impress all my life, and I didn't. So
it's like anything I do now is going to be worse than what he is in his mind. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I mentioned something like that, and my dad responded the same way. I would be like, I'm doing this right now.
Well, you have more confidence in yourself, I guess.
I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, I've never said much to my dad about my work where he responded like that. But then he calls me out of the blue. He'll see something on the news or something, and like, oh, what was it? Well, he heard, I guess Etsy went public, and he goes, have you heard of this place where you can sell art online? Yeah, there's a few. Which one are you talking about? I don't know.
We're talking about the internet, Scott.
Yeah, it has 4 letters. And then he called me the other night. He goes, hey, have you heard about these adult coloring books? They're the big thing right now. So, you got to do that. They're selling them on Amazon.
I know you mean porn, but I'm picturing like time to fill out taxes. Color
No,
the
it's
tax
not.
sheet.
It's actually not porn.
Oh, it's not? Then I don't know what it is.
No, it is just it's an adult coloring books, but they're not explicit in any way. They're just
Oh wait, no, I think I've heard about this. There's like an adult kiddie school as well to kind of go along with the whole thing, isn't there?
I don't know about that. I know it's just I haven't checked them out yet, but I guess it's like a kind of a thing. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in New York or if it's in Philadelphia here, but there's like an adult daycare. You don't actually go for daycare. There's actually an adult daycare down the street from me for older folks that have dementia. But I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about
Good job laughing at it.
where thanks guys.
I'm just helping Q.
Get to go there and you get to do arts and crafts and stuff like that, which is
That sounds terrible. I mean, if you're older and have dementia, that's fine. But if you're a healthy, normal person, that's bizarre.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. You're not healthy or normal.
You should be sitting on the internet with people doing art.
Yeah.
They were saying, I guess it's just like a kind of a form of just therapy,
Foreplay.
Sorry. Those are different adult.
Tricycle
We're
yellow.
talking about something different. I'm sorry.
That's messed up.
Pharaoh just stepping in, laying down the truth after everyone else is done.
He just rolled up the newspaper and whacked me.
Well,
Like moving on.
Moving right along. Hey, did you guys hear the Muppets are coming back to TV?
Oh yeah. And you know what? I was like, at first I was like, oh, I hope they do like the Muppet Show and everything, kind of the same thing. And when I saw the trailer, I'm going, oh man, I was kind of hoping they were going to do like the whole Muppet
I was
Show
kind of
thing.
hoping that they weren't going to do exactly that.
Right, but after I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this is brilliant, because when they did the Muppet Show, I mean, variety shows were like a big thing. But
Yeah.
now they're doing the same thing, but they're commenting on what's going on right now with like this like office type shows and sitcoms where they do the backstage thing where they're talking to the camera and everything.
Well,
So
and also, honestly,
You
you're
were
a
Modern
genius.
Family. Like when I saw the
Yeah,
trailer,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
exactly. So I think it's brilliant. So
Well,
and it
it's
looks
also
great.
good for people like me that even as a kid, my favorite stuff was when they were arguing backstage because I hated all the musical numbers.
Mhm.
So it's for all the kids like me that hate music and art.
And there aren't.
I hate everything.
Don't you do both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of messed up, man.
Okay, I hate fruit and I don't eat fruit, so there's one where I'm consistent.
Okay, well,
You
we'll give
hate
that.
fruit too?
Yeah.
How the heck are you a vegetarian? What do you eat besides
Vegetables.
cheese pizza? Do you eat vegetables? Okay.
Yeah. Well, like tonight I had tater tots and veggie hot dogs. Yesterday I had vegetarian burritos. Pasta. There's lots of stuff to eat.
No, I know there is, but I've just known like, well, I knew someone who was considering being a vegetarian, not a vegetable. You don't want to ever,
wanna be a
wind up being a vegetable.
Jimmy. No, radish. That's the life for me. He's a radish
No,
now.
but they
You gotta respect his life
just-
choice.
they wanted to go vegetarian, but they don't like vegetables. So I wasn't sure if you were in that camp.
No, well, I kind of became a vegetarian by accident anyway. So, but no, I fruit. Most fruit is totally disgusting to me, and then there's a few I can choke down.
You must have some sort of weird deficiency, dude.
Vitamin C, maybe? What do you mean?
I don't know. Just
A deficiency in like my taste buds for not liking fruit?
Yeah, like
Honestly, I think it's just I didn't eat a lot of it as a kid, and it's like that thing, when whatever you eat as a kid, you probably like, that informs your tastes, and like.
I don't know. I ate a lot of dirt as a kid, but I still don't like that.
Oh my God, dirt's delicious. Kidding?
That explains a lot.
Isn't it though?
I don't eat dirt, you guys.
So messed up.
We just get a sound clip of Pharaoh when he's not here.
So I'll just mention that I did try to get Jay Allen into the Hangout, and she was here a little bit, but she wasn't able to stay logged into the Hangout.
Oh.
So that's unfortunate.
Too many people, or?
I don't know. You know, some people's computers just don't work with Hangouts, or maybe it is a factor of too many people. I don't know.
Well, try kicking off Kevin. See what happens.
You're just flirting with me.
Yeah. No.
Asterisk pulls hair. Asterisk.
What?
Hey, we haven't heard from Carrie in a while. Are you?
Yeah.
You want to be a part of this?
Oh, hey, sorry.
I'm working while people talk, and I'm gonna work on stuff.
Yeah, I think I was in the zone.
No, okay.
Oh, that's what artists do, guys.
Yeah.
What's this thing now? Zone?
Wow.
So what are we talking about?
We're beating up on Gaz.
That's fine. I can take it.
Beating up on game.
I'd rather have your psychological pain than that I inflict upon myself.
I wish I knew what was funny.
Whatever we said 10 minutes ago.
I hope it was something I said.
Almost definitely. Hey, Scott, if you shut up.
I'm gonna take a coffee break. I'll be back.
Okay.
Well, Gas?
No, I was gonna make the worst joke in the world, and I stopped myself.
Now I gotta hear it.
No, it's not. It's not even so bad. It just makes no sense.
Okay.
So Carrie, what are your plans? Just to work on a comic and get one finished? Is that like your total focus right now?
Yeah, pretty much. Just to get one done.
I mean, that's good. That's.
So,
Yes.
what is your comic about?
Not 100% sure because I'm still working on the story.
Okay.
But it's just an urban setting with a little bit of supernatural stuff going on.
Don't give in to pressure. Don't give it away if you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you don't have to, or if you don't want to.
If you're not ready, don't because I know what it's like to give into those peer pressure like that, and then they'll be all over it. And
Well, it's not
You
peer
make it
pressure.
sound like we've been bullying you. What are you talking about? Don't let them hurt you like they hurt me.
they kick me in the side all the time.
He's like, go tell an adult.
I still
Yeah,
cry at night.
How about this? How many pages are you planning on it being?
I'm thinking about 17. Somewhere
Oh,
there.
that's a good manageable amount.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Doesn't it have to be an even number? Well, I mean, I guess you can have like an ad or something.
Yeah, throw on a pinup or an intro.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it depends what like, are you planning to print it? I mean, you could just be putting it online.
Oh, that's true too.
Or...
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
so
just
old school.
online. Yeah. Just online.
Okay.
Well, then that makes sense. See, I don't even think about that. I got to get with the times.
Nah, I'm with you, Scott. I was thinking the same thing. I always think of digital as like a secondary, whereas it's more and more the primary.
Yeah.
I finally came up with a webcomic idea, actually. Like, it's taken me years to actually find something I was really behind. And then I was sitting at an illustrators meetup on Saturday, and someone said that if we let Farrell draw Bunny, I bet you it would be a really messed up bunny. And it just kind of evolved from there.
So what's it a story about, like a sailor and a cow?
Oh, no, basically it's a comic about he walks into a bar one night to get a drink, and some guys come in the bar trying to shake the bar down, and the bunny proceeds to kill all these guys. And basically it's this whole comic about this really inconspicuous, cute bunny who basically kills people. Like, all these thugs keep trying to shake down the bar, and he kills them each time, and it becomes this big gang war between this bunny and this actual gang of thugs.
Holy cow, you and I got to get together. I had that like 100 years ago, dude. I'm not even joking. I got to find the picture somewhere.
Farrell, why are you stealing his ideas from 100 years ago?
No, now you see that quiet? I got that quiet when I came up with They Call Me Black Fist, and people have been buying that ever since. So I know I'm on to something, darn it.
There you go.
Run with it, dude, before I get my picture out.
It's a race. Damn it.
Johannes has the copyright already.
See if I can find my picture.
What's do you have Pharaoh? Do you have a name for the killer rabbit guy?
No, we never learned the rabbit's name. The rabbit never talked. It is literally not. It's like a small rabbit.
Oh, like okay. I was picturing like a Bugs Bunny or a Usagi or Jimbo kind of thing.
Little, regular, normal bunny rabbit.
Oh, no, see, that's way more original than what I had.
You can put your picture away now.
It's a wonderful stuff, I tell you. No, it's literally just about a bunny who goes into a bar to get a drink and ends up getting caught up in a turf war. And that is why they shouldn't let me come up with ideas for things.
I think you're misinterpreting the silence. I think it could be a fun idea. God damn it! Every time I try to be sincere, I make too many stupid remarks, and I try to be sincere, and everyone just laughs. Like, no, man, I respect your ideas. Ah!
Like, here's a picture of the bunny.
Oh yeah, mine was way more menacing than that.
And it's just this cute little bunny who has some murderous skills. And he walked into the wrong bar one night, and he basically ends up protecting the bar from all these thugs.
All right, see, that's where we differ. Mine was a coffee house. I think it was like I think it was more like a silver diner.
Completely different.
Yeah, totally different.
Like, the whole running joke is like there's a Jason moment where they think they drowned the bunny, and it comes walking out the other end of the river, Jason style, and like they just can't kill this bunny. Like, everything they try to do they can't stop this bunny from killing them.
Well, that just ain't right.
Is this gonna be like is this gonna be like a one shot, I guess, or ongoing?
I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna see how many comic strips I can get out of it, but I'm gonna post it online. It's gonna be weekly.
Oh, okay. Oh, so are you gonna possibly have a crossover?
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
With Spider-Man, I mean. No, that's not what I mean.
Do all your characters share the same universe?
They do, actually. That's what's kind of messed up and weird about the stuff that I made. Like, one book seems weird, and then you read the next one, okay, yeah, I can see how they can all be in the same universe. Like, this is a bad place they all live, but I can see where it works. I can understand.
Is that... Okay, here's a question for you guys. Do you find that attractive? Like, if you read a comic by a guy who wrote it and penciled it and did everything, and he creates whatever kind of book, whatever kind of characters, and he creates another book entirely, but it's the same universe. Do you find that attractive, or you don't care? Or?
Well, like me, like comic books, because I just can't read every comic book if it's like a crossover or something like that. That kind of bothers me because I don't want to have to go and buy certain books so I know what's going on.
Agreed.
But like, I guess for movies, like the Marvel movies, just because I kind of watch them all, unlike the comic books, I don't read them all. So
it's less of a
I like it when I like it when they do have those little things that lead into the other movies and everything.
Yeah, but what about like the television? I mean, if you're going to go there, what about the television series? Because we were looking at trying
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The chronological order thing.
Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, I didn't realize that fell into that whole thing.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that if you didn't watch, like, Avengers, like, we watched the episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then watched Avengers, then watched the next episode, but if you hadn't watched the movie in between, it's just like, oh, a bunch of stuff happened. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I think that way too. I was like, well, I guess I don't need to see the movie.
Yeah. Like, thanks for spoiling it, guys.
But bringing it back to comics instead of TV and stuff, like I think like if someone's got a universe that they're building themselves, and you're talking like creator-owned stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not talking Marvel or DC or whatever.
I think you've got to. I think you should do like one title for a long time.
No. I'm asking, do you find that attractive, or you don't care, or you're turned off by that sort of?
I'm fine with it if it doesn't become one of those things where I have to read everything you make. Like, the way I try to do it is that it's understood that all this stuff is happening in the same universe, but they don't overlap, and they don't have crossovers and things of that nature.
See, I sort of agree in that the whole thing where you have mandatory purchases to get the whole story, I think, is garbage, no matter who's doing it.
Yeah.
But if you have, your main book and you have some other book, and at some point one of those characters wanders in there in a way that you didn't need to read the other book, it's just, oh, there's some other person in this scene, that if you read both books, it's a fun little nod. I think that's great, because that rewards people that read both books, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the reason I bring it up is because I'm interested in doing that, and I know a lot of fellow creators pretty much say the same thing. It's like, maybe I should be thinking different. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking they're the same universe or building on the universe because everybody else is doing it. It's not such a new thing, anymore. But at the same time, I already formed the whole universe in my head.
I would not worry about what other people are doing if you think it's a good idea for yourself.
Yeah. I'm just checking.
Yeah, like I guess where I was getting at too is like, so Monkey Mod is the title character in my comic, but there's going to be a lot of characters.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change the title, so maybe I don't apply here. I wouldn't change the title of the book. I would just do like, for a couple issues, it's going to be, character A centric instead of Monkey Mod.
Yeah.
He's going to fall out for an issue or two.
So would you kind of like cross out Monkey Mod's name and maybe like insert said alter guy?
Well, there's actually, I hadn't thought about that, but there is one character that it would kind of make sense to like do like a, I don't know, like maybe they would have pasted their name over the top of where his name is or something. But at that point too, it'd have to be established and have a fan base so that people would still recognize that logo, even if a word changed, And
also, that seems like it would be a fun thing to do for a specific story or character, but I don't think you'd need to do that all the time. I mean, if you think about, not to draw the parallel to TV, but just because it's a good shorthand, a lot of ensemble shows, like whether it's, Star Trek or the old G.I. Joe show or any show like that, they wouldn't change the title, but every couple episodes there'd be a focus on like Counselor Troy, and like it was clearly a Counselor Troy episode, but it would still just be Star Trek.
Right.
See, that's funny that you look at it like that, because I always looked at it like their agent just pushing for them to have more money.
Well, that may or may not be true. I'm just saying they didn't need to change the name of the show because they were shifting the focus of the character for that episode.
Oh, so you're saying it wasn't Deep Space Counselor Troy, it was just Deep Space Nine?
Correct. Although Counselor Troy was not on Deep Space
Nine. I know,
don't. I had to. Because Deep Space Nine represents the best of Star Trek, and Counselor Troy represents the worst of Star Trek, so I couldn't let that pass.
Right. There's a thing that, Johannes, that, like I already did like a template for the cover, and kind of, taking, following like what the old like Marvel comics specifically used to do, where they would have like the the character like an iconic pose or something of the character in that like bar.
Oh, like in the little box where like if it was X-Men, they'd have like Kitty Pryde that week or something.
Yeah. So I made something
That's
like
cool.
where it's a little circle, and like if it changes to another character is like kind of the star of that issue or whatever. I'll probably just put like a portrait of them in that little circle.
Right.
I like
That's
that.
good.
What's cool about that is it's not immediately obvious,
Mhm.
and even if you get a fan base, it could be one of those things that like 7 issues in, somebody goes, "Hey, you know what I noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like comics."
I just don't enjoy. I just don't enjoy drawing.
On the upkeep.
Correct.
I like drawing pennas. How do you like my penna?
Well, I gotta roll, guys. I gotta work in the morning.
He's had enough.
All right, man. Hey, for that crossover, because I'm gonna be done in a week.
I know.
All right.
I'm
Thanks
over
for coming, man.
Goodbye.
Yeah, man. Good
I'm
to meet
annoyed
you.
that we missed our opportunity on that.
Yeah. We'll do
We'll
it.
have to do an after 100s video or something.
Yeah.
That's the thing to do.
You coming up to the meetup on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll come.
Okay.
Hey, that's
All right,
not
I'll be
fair.
there.
You guys don't get to hang out in the same town.
You guys have a good evening, man.
You too.
Too, man. I suspect that I get along with all of you better because we're not near each other.
What are you saying? I'm obnoxious?
I was thinking more about myself, but yeah, maybe you are too. Somebody just said something so quiet I couldn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
It wasn't me saying this time.
So quiet, I didn't hear it.
It's in my head.
So we were talking about like universes and things like that.
Yes.
So I used to have this thing, and I kind of got over it when I started working on this comic. But I was just curious if anyone else even has thought about this, or if this is just me and my idiosyncrasies. But so my comic book takes place in the '80s, right? And there's a zombie apocalypse, and knowing that now we're in the 2000s, and we know that there was never a zombie apocalypse. I always thought, way back when, I always thought, well, that's stupid because it didn't happen, so why am I telling a story that didn't happen? And I never thought about like alternate realities or things like that. And so, have you guys ever thought about that?
No.
Yeah, actually.
No, that's way too much, dude. Not only that, but like they've got a television show about the '80s out right at the moment, and not only that, but I also saw a thing, a commercial tonight for Nazi zombies flying sharks shooting missiles at airplanes.
Yeah.
So nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I kind of swayed this way, where I could actually do like a book like this, is because you just see it more and more. And I think one of the turning points was when I saw like Independence Day, where they basically blow up every single monument in the United States, and I'm like, at the time I was like, how can they do that? We know that didn't happen. I mean, it's not, and but
wow.
Well, it's
Wow.
just-
Wait. You read comic books, right?
I gotta say, Scott, this sounds crazy to me that's the kind of stuff that goes through your head when you're watching these movies. Like, I'm not trying to insult you, but it's like, it is like you're like, okay, aliens attacked, Will Smith is fighting them off. Yeah, I'm with you. Wait a minute, that never got to. This isn't real. Like, what? Why are you picking these certain things to?
That's almost
well,
like
that movie came out a while back. So.
And just like what Gaz said, I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but that's almost up there with like the women don't look like that, but they're dudes drawing them, and
that's kind of different, but
no, like that's for whatever.
It's like Star Wars. Star Wars happened. It was just a long, long time ago.
Right.
Galaxy far
my
away.
thinking back then is you can't disprove that Star Wars didn't happen because it happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. If I guess it was because the scale of it.
Right.
Like if you could tell a story that something happened on a smaller scale,
so you
where
like
you wouldn't have heard about it.
So you like the idea that like any
not anymore. I used to think this way, but obviously, I mean, I'm doing this book, so I kind of got over it. But
But your concern initially was that you're telling a fantasy story, but you wanted to have some, like, oh, well, maybe this could have happened and you never heard of it. But
yeah, like Indiana Jones, you could say maybe that happened, you just didn't hear about it because everything was kind of hush-hush and covered up.
Right.
So
Well,
even though that happened before in history, you
I
could say to
guess
yourself that could have happened.
You know what? I do have to agree with you on this, Scott, because I am like knee deep, neck deep in like books that I should really have just like glazed over the whole issue, as opposed to getting as deep into it as I have, because I am terrified of fanboys, and I'm not even making a joke there. Like I'm really always like afraid of somebody calling me out on my bullshit.
Well, yeah, because a lot of fanboys seem to hate everything. They're like looking to call you out.
Well, I definitely don't think fanboys are going to say that. Well, that never happened in the '80s. I was around them, or whatever. I'm not worried about that. I just, I don't know. I just always thought like a period piece.
It seems a specific concern that is not invalid, and if this is important to you in the story you were telling, fair enough that you want it to be somewhat plausible, in some way, shape, or form. But I'm just wondering if you are saying because this is my story and that's how I want it, or is that sort of like a litmus test, at least up until recently, that you applied to all fiction?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess most of the fiction that I read, like I said, was something like a Star Wars, where I could say, well, there's no way to disprove it. But if anything like that, most of any fantasy stories took place in, like, I don't say Lord of the Rings. It's not the world we live in. Where my comic book is essentially the world we live in, but it's.
Did you see? Are you a Star Trek fan?
Yes and no. I mean.
Okay. Well, did you see Star Trek 4 when they went back in time to San Diego? Did that
Yeah.
bother you?
Let me think. No, because because the time travel aspect. So it kind of, to me, it was like. Maybe this didn't. Maybe I'm at the point before they actually came, or something like that.
But that occurred to you watching that movie.
What?
But that thought went through your head when you were watching it, that you had to justify it in some way to yourself. You didn't just say, "Oh, this is a funny, dumb sci-fi movie." Like you actually had to.
I don't know. It may have. I mean, that was a long time ago, and I'm just thinking right now, if I was in that frame of mind, how I would justify it. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
so
once in a great while, I thought
you guys answered my question that it is just me, and
no, I don't think it's necessarily you, because I mean, like some things like they get so far fetched. Like I was watching Bedtime Stories with Adam Sandler the other night, and there was a point where it got so far fetched that I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. So there is some, I guess, disconnect there.
I think it depends on the story, though. I don't think it's like because, like, for example, looking at The Young and Dead, I never even occurred to me that it was a period piece, so therefore, like, if it was set in modern day or the 80s or the future, it's a story about kids and zombies, was really all I was taking away from it on the surface anyway. And I guess the period side of it, yeah, maybe if I thought about it, it could be an alternate dimension, or maybe was the 80s, but then there was a mind wipe or a cover-up, so we didn't know, or like, there's a million explanations, but I guess, yeah, I just never, like, that is like, is it a good story? Does it look nice? Like, that was the concern.
No, I talked about it in my video yesterday, actually, and because I was talking about, like, when does Monkey Mon take place?
Yeah.
He's based in the 60s kind of pop culture stuff, but not everybody is, and there's things that are reminiscent of Earth, but probably not. And is it an alternative universe? And then my conclusion is, who fucking cares? It's the storytelling, and if you do your storytelling right, people I don't think are gonna think of that kind of stuff. It's just not gonna occur to them, Well, that was a good story.
But I mean, sometimes that stuff matters, like like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That wouldn't have happened in this day and age because people have cell phones.
Right.
So that had to be a period piece. So I mean, is that something that plays into your? I haven't read The Young and the Dead, and I apologize up front for that. But
no need to apologize. A lot of people have not read
it. Well, no, if I had money, I would have been all over it by now. But I'm very poor. So, but beyond that, send me money if you can. No, I mean, is there a specific reason that it's a period piece? Is there anything like that that would play into it, or is it just because like you grew up in the '80s?
It's just an homage to those type of movies, and those type of movies that I liked always took place in the '80s. So I wanted this to take place in the '80s. And another weird thing is, and you guys tell me what you think about this, how you guys handle this, but there's never a mention. There's never any like caption boxes that says 1985 or whatever, and I haven't even established exactly the date. I'm saying probably mid 80s somewhere.
I think that's better.
Or early 80s. Yeah, and I don't. And with this, and I've done this before with different books, but because I have another book that deals with some time travel. But in this book there are flashbacks and things like that, and I don't put any caption to tell you that it's a flashback or anything. And I don't know if that confuses people. I'm just hoping people pick it up. But I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm hoping that people get it, you know.
Well, I'm not sure about the clarity of the flashbacks, but just in general, if it's roughly in the 80s, I think you're better off not saying 1982, because then you're going to get some idiot that's like, oh, yeah, I noticed you had a Schwinn bike of this model that wasn't until 19... You know, you don't want that.
That's part of the reason, too, yeah, because I want to fudge a few things. But.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think you're on the right track. I mean, there's a reason why, you know, movies like Monster Squad still resonate. You know, and it's not just because we're nostalgic for it. There's like a lot of younger people who like that movie who weren't around then, and you know, I don't think they're thinking like, that's Dracula didn't come back and the Wolfman doesn't have nards. Come on.
We would have heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best part. Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
I wouldn't worry about it, dude.
There's less like kid hero movies, but it also seems, and not in action movies, but like in kids entertainment, there aren't as many like adult heroes either. It seems like the teenager to like 20 is like almost every hero now.
Yeah.
Like, cause I mean, there were the kid ones, like all the '80s movies you talk about stuff, but like growing up, I remember all the cartoons I watched were like, you know, G.I. Joe and He-Man and Thundercats. Like those were all adult heroes. You know, now if you watch shows, it's all Teen Titans, and I'm not bagging on those shows. A lot of them are very good, but it's just odd that there used to be like, oh, I aspire to grow up to be like that hero that's an adult, and now it's like, hey, kids are cool. You could do this tomorrow, you know.
Well, that's because back then adults were all hocked up on smack, or at least that's what they were telling us, and these were supposed to be positive role models that weren't hocked up on smack.
Gotcha.
Those pills that your mom takes to deal with you?
Yeah. Dude, I've watched some of those with my kids recently. They're upsetting. Like, dude, was everybody just junked up? Like
what have you watched recently?
He-Man, She-Ra.
Are you kidding me? They're like the most wholesome things ever.
That's what. But there's always like in there. There's always like, hey kids, don't do drugs.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was the
drugs
80s.
are bad. Okay.
But I'll tell you what, that shit definitely worked on me. Like I was terrified of drugs and all that stuff. So for good or for bad, it worked the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, it worked on me too.
Kevin and I are quiet.
We were good boys. They were bad boys.
But trends change. Like, you know, the age of like lead characters have changed throughout the years, and you know, you go back to the 50s and it's all older people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you go back to the 50s, people who are younger than us who look like they're 30 years older than us.
Yeah.
Smoking and drinking since I was 10.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think it should be any one thing. Ideally, it would be a good representation of all different types of ages and genders and ethnicity and all that good stuff. But it just does. I did notice that there were a lot more either kids or adults back in the 80s, and now it seems like to more of normalized to like a young, hot adult is sort of the norm for almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metrosexuals.
To use a word that was popular 10 years ago, sure.
Dude, all the kids, they all hang out like right out in front of my house for whatever reason, and I wandered out there late on in the afternoon, and one of the girls that lives across the street, she's got her boyfriend laying in her lap and she's plucking his eyebrows, and I'm like,
That's why you said you were gonna come pluck my eyebrows.
Oh yeah, that's where that came from.
I was wondering. That was like oddly
I know.
specific.
Yeah, yeah.
You remember that and thought of you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I thought exactly. Guys,
Hey, I'm flattered. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Okay.
They're gonna get on this.
So, I don't want to go too late, but we can spend another 15 minutes if we want to talk about anything specific. Now's the time to jump into that, or just general chatter.
We weren't talking about anything specific before.
No, I'm saying like if you want to jump in now with something that's been on your mind,
Okay,
now's a good time to do that.
guys, anyone?
Am I the only one that has a really hard time keeping up with the THEE100s now?
No.
How many
No.
are there? That's a good
No.
question.
That is a good question. Does anybody know like a number?
I have
Of
no
active-
idea.
Does
As a matter of
anybody
fact, I
have
found
like?
one today from that's just posting on DeviantArt,
Really?
and I was like, I never heard of you. Wow.
Wow. Is there anybody that's getting deep into it that we should
Give shout outs to?
yeah give shout outs to? I mean, Peter and I would hope that Kevin would know.
Yeah, I just
Nudge, nudge,
recently.
wink, wink.
I just recently started getting back. I started checking out stuff from the 100s Tumblr page and some of the people that are doing it. I started watching String Cheese just because he's like a local guy. But I'm going to try to go back and watch a lot of them. I've been just busy with other things, but
For a
I do
while,
wanna check out what other people are doing.
I was just keeping up with people who are doing it currently, and then when I'd catch up, I'd go watch some old ones. But now I can't even keep up. Like I just caught up with Kevin like today. I watched like 10 of his videos today.
You've been in Hawaii.
So
You got an excuse.
I guess. But there's just so many. Like it's not a lack of desire. It's just.
Yeah, but it's cool though that there are so many.
I agree.
The purpose of this community shouldn't be to watch every last video of everybody else's. Because I think everybody feels guilty for not keeping up with everyone. We should have a better system as far as like who's a part of it and currently where they are, kind of like a weekly update or something.
Well, here's
maybe.
the better system, because everyone's busy doing client work and doing their comic. Is just sign up on Facebook.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is even like the people I'm trying to keep up with are people that are on YouTube and or the Facebook group. Anybody that's on their own blog or on DeviantArt, like I might have looked at it once, but it's just
it's
too
hard
much
to
trouble.
do that.
Like YouTube I could put on while I'm working, and Facebook I look at compulsively because I'm an addict. But everything else is just
You know what? Actually, here's a good thing. If you are a 100 and you're listening to this, get involved. Start talking to the other 100s the way that we did, and start irritating the crap out of us to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, comment. There's nothing better than if you want people to check out your videos or whatever. Comment on some of our pages and stuff like that, and just kind of introduce yourself or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because
Don't be afraid, we won't bite much.
What's that?
I said, don't be afraid, we won't bite much.
Man, you are spicy tonight.
I know. I am just saying.
Like everything you say is.
Dude.
To be quite honest, I like a spicy Johannes.
Dun-dun-dun.
No, but there have been people who have commented on my video and said I'm gonna start this or I want to start this, and then I'm like, oh cool, let me know, and then I don't know if they're actually starting it.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
we're welcoming to everybody, so
Well, and that's part of it too. Is like you're saying about feeling guilty about not keeping up on everyone. I don't feel as bad with like you guys because even if I haven't seen everything, I've looked at a good chunk and I know who you are. But I think the people who need it more is like when I first started, I was just sort of doing it, and I think I was like 10 episodes in before anybody even liked it, and then I was like 25 episodes in before like Kevin knew who I was, But like every little like, every little comment, especially in the beginning, was such a big deal. Like, oh, someone is looking. I better, like try that much harder. So
Yeah.
I would like to be that for the next people coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't want to miss an
absolutely.
opportunity to help somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in order
yeah.
to do that, like just using your videos for example again is you can't just comment once. You know what I mean? And like you would comment like a few times to the point where I was like, okay, he's serious about it.
He's
I'll
irritating.
check, Because sometimes you're like, well, I'm gonna go tonight and I'm gonna check out this person's video.
Right.
I don't have time now, and then something else happens that night, and then 3 days later you've forgotten who was that person again?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point. You just keep on it. I mean, even if you don't, that was one of the things. Like I kind of burned myself out on it, but I tried to stay with the conversation with all with everybody. So just interject yourself into it out there.
But have something to say. Don't just be like, follow me, look at my stuff. Like have an actual
Sub for sub.
What?
Although I've never said that, but I absolutely do that. Anybody that subscribes to me, I just subscribe back.
I don't know.
I do
that
if we
anymore.
start talking. Like we start comments.
However, if you do come up to me and ask me about it, I will give you free art though as a JPEG.
I don't understand what you just said.
You were like sub for sub or whatever. I'll subscribe to you if you subscribe to me. I don't even I don't have time for that shit anymore. No offense, unless you're talking to me kind of thing, or you catch my eye, because I'm just so busy right now. But if you do engage me and you ask me for something that's on my page, I will give you a free JPEG of whatever art you're interested in.
Oh, I see.
Cool.
Yeah. But I will nobody's ever literally said to me sub for sub, but just if I see that somebody subscribed, I'll just go ahead and subscribe back. That being said, I'm subscribed to hundreds of channels, some of which I've never watched a single video.
Yes.
Now, do you subscribe? Because some people are just on YouTube to watch videos. They're not on there to post it. So
I have a lot.
If somebody has 0 videos, I'm not going to subscribe to their channel. It just doesn't make sense.
You're right, but I still do it because I feel like, well, what if they put up a video at some point? Like the first, 10 subscribers are the hardest for me to get, so they've got one in case, it doesn't cost me anything to just press subscribe.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Good point. I hate you.
So, for anybody who is currently active doing the 100-day challenge, and isn't part of the group on Facebook, it's facebook.com/THEE100s. That's THEE100s.
Quick question: isn't it invite only though right now, or is that?
Well, you can click to be invited.
Can they still look at the page even if they can't post?
I believe they should be able to.
I think he fixed that a while ago, didn't
Oh,
you?
okay. I wasn't.
I totally missed that. My computer's solid. What were you saying?
I was asking.
It's invite only, but you should be able to, just click on it to be invited.
Hold on. Q, who is listening, is looking on her computer, and she is not a member, and she can't find the group. So I think it's private, which means that no one can even see it.
Awesome.
We've recently got some people request to be part of it.
Right. Well, it should definitely be, you need approval to be able to post and stuff so we don't get flooded with spammers.
Yeah.
But do we want it to be private from anybody that wants to look at it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was private. We probably want so that we can, if people just want to come see what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't think there is a setting like that.
It wouldn't be a group then if that was the case. What some of the other groups do is they have like an open page kind of thing, and they'll throw a couple of things in there every now and then.
Really?
Does that make sense?
Well, I understand what you're saying as a workaround, but really there's no way to just set it that way? That seems so...
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went
Well,
through this with the digital thing.
You can have it
Uh,
totally open, and if we want to kick somebody out, then we can't.
Yeah.
uh,
So,
You know.
so really, the life lesson here is don't be a troll.
Don't be a troll.
Yeah.
well, but that's just a terrible choice to be completely open or completely closed. I don't understand why they wouldn't have a third, view,
Well,
but don't touch.
I'm not.
But you don't have to
can't
answer for them, Peter. You didn't do it.
Your fault.
Well, I changed it, so it is what it is now.
Right.
So it is
But
technically his fault. is
I
what he's
don't
saying.
think I forget, what the other options are, but I believe that's the best option.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, there is one troll that tries to get in all the groups that we're involved in.
Is that your personal troll?
This person to not, ever be invited because I don't want
It's
them
so
to.
it's so funny that you bring that up because you don't ever want to actually talk about this person.
Well, we're in public right now. No.
I'm sure he appreciates your laughter.
I don't care. Sorry. I'm actually, just so that you know, I'm actually drawing an angry Kevin at the moment.
Oh my God!
I don't know. Can you see that?
That's why he's got a Dead Kennedy shirt.
Yes.
That's awesome. I just looked up.
Did it always start like that, or did you just?
This is exactly what I went into. He was like, I was just sitting there, and he was like on some rant. I don't even remember what it was, but.
Wait, when a rant? When was this?
Like when
No,
I
I'm
first,
being sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly. Shh.
So I posted in the below the YouTube in the chat the Facebook group without the HT blah blah blah, but it's facebook.com/groups/THEE100s, and if you click on that or just go to that and click to be invited, you can get invited. It's easy.
A child could do it.
You know what? Now that I think about it, either I forget it was Artcasters or THEE100s, but one of those groups I got an invite to join from Peter or somebody, and I was able to see things. But then when I went to post something, it had to be approved every time for a while until somebody gave me a higher permission. So maybe you could do something like that.
Well,
everybody.
Well,
yeah.
For everything to be approved every time, I don't have time to do that.
What happens is we had that happening, and I think when the group.
That's what I changed.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were complaining about there for like a month straight.
Well, yeah, but I just wanted me to have approval.
So you want to be able to take all the old people's licenses away when they cut you off.
Did you just make some age political joke? What happened?
What?
Was that a joke about old people driving?
It wasn't even a joke, dude. It was just personal issues.
That came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. It's like, and what's with this bottled drinking water garbage? Am I right?
Yeah,
yes.
That's bullshit.
No, out of nowhere.
I could say so many things, but don't make as much sense. Johannes's comments. So,
I think there's something wrong with me this evening. I do apologize.
Yeah.
Should you have watched more anti-drug cartoons as a kid?
I could have.
Yeah.
Are we seeing some effects?
Damn Fraggle Rock.
You didn't like Fraggle?
No, I was watching it all the time. That was what was fucking it up. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Drop the F-bomb.
It's okay.
I'm really into the Angry Kevin thing.
I love it.
Anyways.
I'll post it in the group.
So if people that are not a member go to this link that you're posting, what will happen?
their face will fall off their skull.
Oh yes, I'm doing
We
it.
totally
Uninvite
lost it.
Uninvite
It's
me.
completely off the rails.
What will happen? I mean, you know, like Q's not in the group, right?
Correct.
So what happens when she goes to the page?
So she's our guinea pig now. Okay, Q. Can you, when you're not?
Oh, I can see the members. I cannot see any posts.
Can you hear her?
Okay.
And I can't find it in the search.
And she can't find it in a search. So if you give a direct link, she just sees who is a member, and that's it.
Try it again.
She's gonna try it again.
But she can get in the group. I mean, you know.
No, she's saying if she searches just normally, she can't find it. If she
Right.
follows the direct link you gave, it'll take her to the group, but she can't see the posts that we put up. It just says this is a private group.
Right.
Here's the
I
members.
can find it in the search.
She can find it in a search.
But
The story.
I was searching for THEE.
Oh, it came up.
Did you hear that?
Is it the fact that you've got to search THEE? Is that what she's saying?
She's saying she searched THEE because it's
Oh.
THEE100s, but it's
Yeah.
not spelled that way. It's THE. I don't know. I'm a little unclear because I'm getting
Oh, maybe because
time lag
the
information.
like the URL is THEE, but the group title is THE.
No, we
I
should
think-
probably keep that.
I think yeah that is might
Yeah.
be part of the problem that they're inconsistent, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I could fix that.
That's my bad. I'll take total credit for that. I just want everybody to see my hulking out Kevin here. That's why I talk so much.
You should have just been like hulking out Kevin.
Hulking out Kevin!
See, there you go.
I always wanted to be a voice guy.
That's how I'm going to start all my videos now.
Kevin, I'm gonna give this to you. I totally expect you to. Well, I'll link it, but I totally expect you to put some of your awesome colors on it.
Wow, you must not understand how much work he has.
I do. I'm gonna drop the punk rock bomb right here and say I don't give a fuck.
I got into punk rock because I care about man.
Yeah, anarchy means I litter.
Yeah, I bet. Just like those fucking kids at the whatever. Never mind. and their little
kids, fuck
butt
the old
patches
people.
and their tight little jeans and their dirty whatever.
You are just a ball of piss and vinegar, man.
I'm telling you, man. I enjoy this
See,
so
if you
much.
would turn that anger in on yourself and hate your art, then you'd enjoy the rest of life. That's the key. You see, I'm like, hey, everybody's great, everything's fun. Fuck myself, fuck my art. You enjoy your
No,
art,
dude.
so.
You don't understand. I've been angry at society and whatever.
And stuff.
Don't get me started.
Well, it seems
Thanks
like
for
you're already
joining.
started.
Before you know it, I'm gonna be in the back of a cop car again, and I'm gonna have a shitty mohawk. What little
Just for the
hair I
hell of
have.
it.
I've got just enough tough to do like a. Never mind.
Is it? Do you stop yourself because you don't want to say it, or are you not even sure what you're about to say? Because that's what it seems like. You're like, and then I was in a. I don't even know.
I watched a lot of like Bobcat Goldthwait growing up, man.
Can I get like, just a feed of you talking like this all the time?
I know. My favorites are the non sequiturs. Like,
Yeah, it's like stand-up that's missing every other line.
the world.
Would you believe I haven't had a drink at all tonight or anything? And I'm not. I'm being dead serious.
Are you sleep deprived?
No.
It seems like you're dropping every other sentence. Like you almost make sense, but then like there's no connective tissue there.
No, you know what? It was probably just that I'm drawing and that I get lost in it. I was really enjoying that Kevin here. I'm a big sexy Kevin.
Alright.
There's like I'm done with you fucking
Guys,
ruining
I'm
my
going
show.
I had a very long day, and I gotta be up for tomorrow's show, and
And this is
Um,
bullshit.
it's not Friday, so
Yeah, you're one of the few people that gets up early and goes late, Peter.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that.
Yeah,
No, that's weird.
I crashed during the day at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, my sleeping is horrible lately, especially.
Well, I'm sorry.
When I lay down, I could hear the mites
Don't.
crawling under my
I
skin.
knew you were gonna say that.
God, not my skin is
Mice?
crawling too.
You can just hear them tunneling in.
This is me itching.
Mice chew on your ears? What happened?
Mites. He's
Mites.
got parasites under his skin.
What?
Were you not here for that?
No. I've
No,
been
he wasn't.
inundated all night.
I can't.
No, he's in
All right.
You sound like me.
I do.
It's all good.
She just got up to that part.
Sorry. All right, so I guess we should call it a night.
Doggone it. Ah, shucks.
Yes, it was getting good.
I was just about to open a can of whoop ass.
So it looks like Carrie, otherwise known as Caroline.
Horvath?
Yeah, Horvath, and she's part of the THEE100s now. She's just posted, I guess, a video for day 12 and 13. She apparently dropped out of chat at some point. But just to mention her and to mention J. Allen Ratz, who
Congratulations, Jay.
who I think she's trying to go for 110 for whatever reason.
I thought
but
wasn't
she
somebody else
made
doing
it.
that with her?
No, it's just herself, I believe.
Oh, I thought Kevin or
Somebody else said they were too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I made
But
100, so there.
she
Alright.
she tried to get into the chat, but was unable to. But she said to say hello.
Hello to her.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I was gonna do that.
La la la.
Who else was here? We had Farrell Bowling.
MTV's
.com.
Kennedy.
No?
No.
And let's just see who's here.
Not me.
We got who's on my left here. I don't know. It's so slow. Let's just go with Johannes first.
Hi, I'm Johannes, and I'm an A. Sorry. I'm all over the place, clearly. So just look me up.
All over the place in more ways than
God. And we have Gaz.
Hey, it's me, Gazbot. You can find me at gazbot.com on YouTube and all the other social outlets.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And we have Kevin with us.
Kevin Wheels.
With us.
That's his skater name.
That's right. That's my skater name. Yeah, I'm Kevin Wheels. I do a comic book show. And why don't you go over to my YouTube page and subscribe? It's it's youtube.com/user/monkeymodcomics.
Exactly. And we have Scott.
Hey, yeah, I'm Scott with CircWorks, and you can find me at circworks.com. You can find me at CircWorks on YouTube and CircWorks at pretty much everywhere else. And so thanks for having me on, Peter. And from now on, the only mites I want to hear about are bat mite. Bam, comic book reference.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, if you got a big company and had employees, would you call them Cirque Jerks?
Actually, my little guys, I've got. I've got.
That was the joke I didn't make before. I decided to make it.
No, they're Cirque workers.
Well, way to bring reality into it.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than Cirque Jerkers.
He's so clean about everything. Jeez.
Cirque Minions.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking of calling them hench minions. Combination of henchmen and.
I kind of like the Cirque Jerks. Sorry.
Who are you that's talking to us this time? Peter, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I am Peter Palmiotti,
Oh.
otherwise known as Humanot Studios.
Oh.
Humanot?
You can go to humanotstudio.com if you want to see a real crappy website, but I'm everywhere on the web. go to my Patreon page and support all that I do. And I'll be doing a lot more videos coming up. I haven't figured out the new Windows Movie Maker. I got the 2012 version. Makes no sense to me, so I might have to get something else.
That's what I use. I'm not
You
sure.
and we should have a conversation later.
Well, I was using XP until my computer broke down, and I got upgraded to Windows 7. So the new Movie Maker makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been making videos. I haven't actually. I should do a blog recently coming up and just update people for anybody who's
just
wondering.
So that you know, that was what I
Yes.
cursed about for like the first 50 days of my 100s.
Oh yeah.
That whole program. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out which one I'm using because I use Windows Movie Maker and it's super easy. I mean, it's limited, but
Yeah, I use it too, and it's pretty easy for me.
I'm gonna.
Is it the 2012 version?
I have
just opened it. I'm gonna look
XP,
now.
I know that. Or 7.
Oh.
I think I have 7.
How do you know what version
7.
you have?
I'm talking about Windows. I have version.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah. What
version
Windows
of
do you
it is.
have?
I don't know.
Does it say Windows XP?
It's the one that looks like an iPhone.
Oh, it might be 7 or it might be 8. Oh, you mean like with the boxes? It might be 8.
Yeah. It might be
8. Yeah, 8.
Well, I'm used to Windows XP version, so the new one makes no sense to me because it's really different. But you know, it's like I got 100 things going on. I can't learn another program that I probably won't be using. You know, down the line. I don't know. We'll see.
Apparently, I'm on Windows 8.
We'll see. Oh, you just been informed?
Yeah, by my technical advisor.
Oh, yeah. And in the background, doing our soundtrack was Q.
What's up, lady friend?
Still respond in like a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for coming on. And
thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
thanks for hosting.
putting up on us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
She'd like to shout out.
Yeah.
So, before we sign off, because I mean, the reason why it's been so long in between episodes was because Peter had some problems. But anyone want to host the next one, or
I could do it.
You don't sound too.
You'd have to put up with me the whole time.
A whole episode with you in charge? That sounds like fun.
Give the guy that has no computer experience controls.
Well, we can figure it out off the air.
Agreed.
Do it like a drive.
But yeah.
But rest assured, another one will happen at some point somehow.
Yeah, there will be a 5.
Yeah, I'll gladly,
All right.
gladly do it. You guys would just have to put up with me.
Peter, take us home.
All right. Thanks everybody. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't.
Yeah, money. Send money.
I'll follow all the other THEE100s. I'll put links when I get a chance, probably within the next day or so, down below, so you can follow everybody who is on the episode. And yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Peace
Bye.
all.
Later.
You're all beautiful.